everyone, this is Samantha from the Dancing Soap Dish, and it's time for another Christmas melt and pour soap tutorial. I am just crazy about mosaics at the moment. I've already made some mosaic Christmas soap. You can find the video on my YouTube channel, and this is part 2. So these are beautiful square melt and pour soap bars. They have been made by assembling mosaic soap tiles that I've made with melt and pour soap, and then I've poured the rest of the bar on top, and I gotta say, I'm just loving them. They are gorgeous. This one here is a hexagonal design. It's got a little bit of glitter in it too. Just use Christmas colors. I've scented them with peppermint fragrance. They smell amazing and Christmassy. This one here is supposed to be a Santa belt if you don't recognize it. So that's Santa Claus's belt there. And that's using square mosaic tiles, whereas the star here is using triangular, and these ones obviously are hexagons. And they are just fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now how you can make them for your own friends and family and really wow them this Christmas. Let's get started. So to make my mosaic soap bars, I'm using a combination of 2 soap molds. This one is actually supposed to be for resin crafts, to make resin mosaic tiles, but I don't do resin, I do soap. So I saw this and I went a little nuts, and I just love making mosaic soap. There's lots more projects coming. And I'm also using just a square 6 centimeter by 6 centimeter soap mold here. I build my mosaics inside it and then pour the soap on top. And it's just pure coincidence that I figured out that when you pop out all the tiles and sort of assemble them without the gap in between them, they fit perfectly into a 6 by 6 centimeter square. So I got really lucky there. It makes the whole process actually quite simple. It is a little bit time consuming to assemble everything, but you know, I enjoy it. I find it relaxing. You put on some Christmas carols and rock out, and it's lots of fun. So all of the quantities, weights, measures, equipment and everything, full printable tutorial is available on the Dancing Soap Dish website. There is a link in the description of this video. And I'm going to get started making some mosaic soap tiles.
Pine cones and holly berries, popcorn for you, apples for me,
red striped candy, nutcracker handy,
kettle a-bubbling, holiday tea, snow clouds hang low and threatening, maybe it won't, praying it may,
the brightest fireplace glows in every face,
waiting for Christmas Day. There'll be walk-around songs and talk-around songs, songs of the inn and stable. There'll be morning time songs and evening time songs, and grace at every table. And jingle bells will jingle all the way, all day.
it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you
Apples for
go,
me,
there's a tree in the Bragg Motel, one in the park as well, the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the people make their merry, the carols that you sing right within your heart, right in your heart.
we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We want some figgy pudding, we want some figgy pudding, we want some figgy pudding and a cup of good cheer.
We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring it out here. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So here are all the mosaic tiles I've just made. I've sorted them by shape. I've got my square ones, my triangle ones, and my hexagonal ones. Some of them came out all in one block, some of them fell out little bits, some of them are a right mess, a bit bumpy on the top, and it doesn't matter because mosaics are supposed to look all different and all bumpy anyway, so these are all perfectly fine. I did have to do quite a few different makes, but you only need 20 minutes in between each one in order for them to dry. So you can chug out 3 lots in an hour, and sometimes I did multiple shapes at the same time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to focus on the triangles first because that's probably my easiest design. I'll just get rid of these. So what I'm going to do is I have a breadboard and a sharp knife here. A sharp knife with a straight edge is best, not a serrated edge. And I can use them to trim all the edges off my soap. Very easy, just like that. I can also cut them all up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them all up. I'm going to trim all the edges and I'm going to sort them into like shapes. That won't take me long at all, and then I will be back to show you the next step. So here we are. As you can see, I've already started to assemble my mosaics inside my soap molds. I thought I'd just get 2 out of the 3 of each of the designs out of the way, and then I'll show you how to do the final one. It's pretty easy work. Just maybe put on some music and rock away. Few hints, tips and tricks. Definitely recommend having one of these on hand. A bamboo skewer or even a metal skewer would work too. Sometimes it's hard to get your fingers down into the molds, so these are really good just for positioning the tiles and getting them in the right spot. And just give them a nudge there, as you can see. You need a breadboard and a knife with a straight edge, not a serrated one. This is for cutting up the tiles that need to be cut, especially with the Santa Claus belts here in the middle. I've had to cut the edge tiles in half to make sure that the design sits in the center. And I've also cut some of the triangles as well. The hexagonal ones, they all fit in nice and neat. So, okay, I'm going to start with my Christmas star here. I have sort of sorted my tiles. These are all the edge pieces over here. I've got these funny little edge pieces. Don't think I'm going to use them at this stage. And also a section here. These ones have a small corner chopped off because these were the edge pieces. So I've separated those from the full triangle pieces. So the easiest way to start building the Christmas star is to basically just start from one end and work to the other. So I'm going to lay down a row of white triangles, just alternating the way that they're facing, remembering that face down is the good side that I'm going to see of my soap, so making sure that the good side of my tiles is facing down inside the mold.
Jingling, 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 jing. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
The bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright.
Oh, what fun it is to sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle sleigh.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Jingling, oh what fun it is to ride in one.
Okay, so I've put all my whole triangles in now. Now I just need to cut some in half for these bits down the side. Easy to use, these bits that were the edge pieces inside the mold. The little edge that's sort of truncated off there, I'm going to use that as the top when I cut it in half. And it won't even be noticeable really. I could use these little bits here, but because I've got such a big gap in the mold, I'm finding that these half triangles that I've got left over fit a lot better, so it's definitely worth the effort to make them look nicer.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Jingling, oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Jingling, oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingling.
Okay, and there you have it, 3-star mosaics. So now I can move on to the Santa Claus belt. This one goes a lot faster because there's just square shapes. Got plenty of tiles here, so I'm going to pick out the good ones. Again, with my good side facing down, I'm going to start with the belt in the middle and then build the red around it.
Be a Santa, jolly Santa, happy Santa, give the world a Merry Christmas. Be Kris Kringle, bells a jingle, what you bring, oh, fill the world with joy, come on and swing that swing.
Okay, so that's the majority of the design done. As I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I've actually got two slightly different red tiles. They're just not exactly the same hue, but that's fine because you get that with mosaic tiles, but I'm just making sure that I mix them up. So if you're wondering why I was going over here and then coming back over here, that's why I'm just making sure that I'm using random red tiles here and there so that we don't just have big blocks of different colors that looks a bit odd. Now what's left to do is the rest of the tiles need to be cut in half to go around the edge of the design. That's simply just because I want the belt to be in the center. If you're making a different design with squares, then by all means you won't need to cut any, can just pop them in just like we're going to do with the hexagons. So just a tip here, basically take a square, cut it in half and put them on opposite ends, and that way you'll get a really snug design because you're making sure that you've got full tiles here instead of part and part. So that's what I'm going to do now.
Wobble your chins, ring out your bell, remember wink and giggle, wiggle your beard. Keep up your grins, get out and sell the spell. I'll call Noel, Noel, oh be a Santa, rolling Santa, holy Santa. Spread the word of Merry Christmas, be so jolly, decked with holly, and by golly, everyone will love you if you be a Santa Claus.
Grab your belly, then let go.
Shake like jelly to and fro.
Roar and bellow in the snow.
Like a mellow buffalo.
And there you have another Santa belt mosaic. Fitting perfectly snug in there. Okay, moving on to the last one, the hexagons. Now this is just a random mosaic pattern using 4 different colors, white, green, red, And I've also got just a clear with some glitter in it here, just to give it a bit of sparkle. The easiest way to do these is like a puzzle. You got to start with the outside. Do the edges first and then work your way in. So I've separated all the full hexagon pieces from all the edge pieces. And sometimes it's handy to have your mold on hand just to see which shapes go where around the edge. But once you've got the edge done, the rest you can just fill in randomly and it's quite easy. So I'm going to get started on that now.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street,
Say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet.
oh ho, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Oh, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me.
And there you have it. 3 beautiful tile mosaic designs, and there's 3 of each. So I've got 9 bars of soap here, and we'll go from there. See you soon. I've melted my soap base and I've scented it with peppermint essential oil. It's ready to go. I'm going to work fast. I've got my isopropyl alcohol, which I'm going to spray the surface of my soap with to help the melted soap base adhere to it. Looking good. What I'm going to do first is I'm just going to pour a small layer. I don't want to dunk a whole lot of soap in here because I don't want my tiles to start floating. I don't want them to come away from the bottom and start floating. So I'm going to do a small thin layer just to sort of set them in place, and then I'll pour the rest of the bar. I'm also going to need to weigh them out so that I've got even weight bars. So I'm going to put my mold here on this scale. I've tared it to 0, and I'm going to just put in 10 grams. Beautiful. I'm going to spray that. I'm going to tear it. I'm going to do another 10 grams. Beautiful. Spray it to get rid of any bubbles. Tear it. Another 10 grams. And let that just sit there for a little bit. Sorry, the device I was recording on ran out of space. So we missed the pouring of the Christmas stars, but I did it like I did these hexagonal ones over here. I poured 10 grams first, waited a little while, and then came back and poured the remaining 40 grams, for 50 grams in total. So these are all done. I'm going to let them set overnight and I will come back tomorrow and demold them and we'll see how they look. See you then. So now it's time to demold these soaps. These are the ones we made yesterday. They smell amazing. I'm getting a really fresh, clean, pepperminty smell from this one. There you go. What a beautiful little bar of soap. Really cool, that one. You can see it's sealed around the side. Got all the different colors. Pull out the next one. Yeah, they've come out really well. There's a really nice little, there's a little bit of glitter in there too. Looking good. This is my Santa belt. There he is. You can see sort of the texture of the tiles there. There's a little bit of white that sort of snuck around the side and through the gaps, but that's fine. It's my last mosaic. And here is a beautiful star. Beautiful star. I love the mother of pearl effect of the white there. There is a little bit of a border around the edge, but you really can't even notice. It's really a lovely little bar.
Where you can see somebody waits for you. Kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year.
I'm really excited with those. So these are done and done. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial for Christmas Mosaic Melt and Pour Soap. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more soap tutorials in the future. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and enjoy.
Jingling, 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 jing. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
The bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright.
Oh, what fun it is to sing a sleighing song tonight.